Hello guys, and welcome back to Triple Double Nation. Believe it or not, there will come a time when the NBA MVP race doesn't include the usual suspects, LeBron James, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and a healthy Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, among others, can dominate the ballot for only so long. Luckily though, the league will be in great hands once it transitions into a new era of MVP mainstays. Giannis Antetokounmpo has already proved as much. He burst onto the MVP scene and never left. And now a second consecutive Maurice Podoloff trophy is all but in the bag. Other newish secondary MVP candidates invite the same amount of confidence in the NBA's future. Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic aren't going anywhere. Karl Anthony Towns' case will be ironclad if the Minnesota Timberwolves are ever good. Our crystal ball helped us peer even further down the line. We wanted to identify the players who stand to shape the MVP discourse for the next decade plus, and who haven't yet routinely contended for the association's highest individual honor. Anyone in their age 21 season or younger was eligible for consideration. This included the maximum number of fresh faces, even if Luka Doncic is already getting a share of MVP talk. Not every could-be or established young star made the cut. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is already good and going to be great.
These are the top 5 future MVP candidates in no particular order.
Luka Doncic. Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic's inclusion didn't take much thought. He is already on the periphery of the MVP discussion. Giannis Antetokounmpo remains this year's heavy and arguable favorite. LeBron James is right behind him. Things get more interesting after them. Doncic, James Harden, Nikola Jokic, Kawhi Leonard, and Damian Lillard will jockey for bronze. Anthony Davis should get some love too. Securing a top 5 finish on the MVP ladder is not an official achievement. It is an anecdotal victory more than anything else. But when you're a 21-year-old sophomore, that moral W is a big friggin' deal. It just says as much about Doncic's long-term viability that he's played himself into the most improved player conversation. Not only is the stigma against second-year leaps real, but he's working from a position of entrenched stardom. Doncic's runaway Rookie of the Year campaign fast-tracked him for top 25 status before his sophomore season even tipped off. He has obliterated expectations even by that measure. His 28.5 points and 8.7 assists per game are gigantic increases over the last year's averages, and they've come on a less than marginal uptick in playing time. Compacted volume is more responsible for Doncic's statistical jumps. His usage rate has skyrocketed from 30.5, a top 10 mark last season, to 37.0, the second highest in the league, behind only Antetokounmpo's. Dramatic increases in workload tend to come at the expense of efficiency, not in Doncic's case. His true shooting percentage is at 58.3, nearly 4 points higher than last year's and comfortably above the league average 56.3. People will eventually turn on Doncic's three-point clip. That's how this works. Youthful stardom is honeymoon. The harping and hating comes after. Let them. Doncic is launching almost 10 triples for 36 minutes, the vast majority of which are intensely difficult looks. Only Harden, Lillard, and Trae Young have scored more points on unassisted trays, according to PBP stats. Sub 32% shooting from beyond the arc isn't something Doncic needs to overcome or anyone must forgive. 21-year-olds aren't finished products, and even if Doncic never parallels Harden's or Lillard's efficiency from deep, he's still one of the league's most transcendent offensive players. Few others boast his vision of the dribble, and he's become an expert at keeping defenses on tilt inside the arc. Ja Morant. Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant's rookie season is nothing if not proof he has the ceiling of a player who belongs in this list. A loosening grip on Rookie of the Year ownership doesn't change his trajectory. For one, he's not even giving up ground in that race. Zion Williamson's dominance has made it seem like Morant's stock has dropped, but he hasn't slumped long enough or hard enough to be in anything other than the consensus favorite. Oscar Robertson and Trae Young are the only other rookies to clear 20 points and 8 assists per 36 minutes. That Morant's true shooting percentage checks in a hair above the league's average is comparably impressive. He has one of the association's 30 highest usage rates and has scored more points on unassisted twos than Devin Booker according to PBP stats. Carrying that type of workload is one thing, shouldering it as a 20-year-old is another. Carrying it as a rookie on above average efficiency is ridiculous. Morant does need to expand his three-point volume if he's going to expedite and solidify his future MVP position. He's canning 35.7% of his pull-up triples, but attempting only 1.4 such looks per game, and fewer than 3 per 36 minutes overall. Creating anarchy inside the arc has limits. Morant will push them even if he remains a conservative outside shooter. He is both slippery and explosive, like if an RDX compound was given legs. Only a handful of players can make the passing reads he does after leaving his feet, and his handle equates to an open-ended ticket to show on the rim. He gets the line enough to prop up his shot profile. Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics. Emerging as the best player on a championship contender is the most efficient path to MVP contention. Jason Tatum is already traveling it. Over his past 40 games, he's averaging 24.8 points, 7.1 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.1 blocks with a 58.3 true shooting percentage. Others on this list will beef up future MVP cases with dual roles as primary scorers and playmakers. Tatum isn't quite there. He needs to make the transition into being a more unpredictable passer. Still, he's no less of an offensive hub. The Boston Celtics no longer need a floor general to serve as a cushion. His pick and roll frequency has exploded compared to last season's, and the team ranks in the 52nd percentile in points scored 100 possessions while he plays without Kemba Walker. Not great, but good enough. What Tatum lacks is a pure playmaker. He offsets with dependable from-scratch scoring. Only 7 players have generated more points on unassisted threes, according to PvP stats. And his 40% clip on pull-up triples is the second highest among every player launching at least 3 per game. Boston continues to increase the frequency with which it counts on Tatum to navigate high-stakes situations. Among every player to make at least 10 crunch time appearances, Joel Embiid, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul, and Terry Rozier are the only ones matching his usage and true shooting percentage. Zion Williamson, New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson hasn't needed 20 regular season appearances to earn future MVP billing. Truthfully, he didn't even need 15, or 5. Okay, fine, maybe he needed 5. His superstar hype train was rolling right along before he entered the league, but some folks questioned whether his build in the absence of a pre-existing player archetype would hold him back. A torn meniscus in his right knee before the regular season only emboldened the skepticism. To be clear, he wasn't being spun into a draft bust, but his durability was in question. He joined the New Orleans Pelicans rotation January 22nd, toting the burden of proof. And then, by January 23rd, he had shed it. The fourth quarter of Zion's first NBA game, 16 points in 2 minutes, 34 seconds, is a nutshell of his season. He overwhelms and bursts, while for the most part playing within the flow of the offense. You see him, you stare open-mouthed at defenders ricocheting off him. You feel his presence, and yet you don't always realize that he just racked up 25 points. Trae Young, Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young's defense is going to prevent some from placing him in this company. That's not unfair. He doesn't have the size or wingspan to coast on physical tools, and he fights to navigate screens with the aggression of someone who doesn't understand as much. Catch-all metrics paint Young as less than a non-factor on the glamorous end. He is in dead last in ESPN's defensive real plus-minus and NBA shot charts, luck-adjusted defensive real-adjusted plus-minus. He ranks third to last ahead of only Bradley Beal and Darius Garland, and NBA's math defensive points saved. Crummy defense can unravel MVP bids, ask James Harden. He has an MVP award to his name, but his defensive reputation, please don't cite the post-up stats. Cost him perception points in the 3 times he's finished second. Like Harden's though, Young's offense is transcendent enough to overcome his warts at the other end. His super deep off-the-dribble threes bend defenses to the point of no return, and his lack of size has not hindered him from making any plays closer to the basket. He is shooting better than 50% on floaters, and has cracked the 90th percentile of efficiency at the rim in each of his first 2 seasons. Young's passing is probably still underrated. He's still associated with his scoring first, but his vision is otherworldly. He flings nifty one-handed bounce passes in his sleep, can throw dimes the length of the court, and threads the needle on no lookers in traffic. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future.